You know, as far as adaptations go, I think we all can agree that we could have done a hell of a lot worse than the first Silent Hill movie. They had the right vibe, the right look, sort of the right cast, and honestly, outside of a little bit of writing problems, they pretty much did a good job. It may not have been perfect, but it was kind of impressive that considering how many adaptations try and fail that they were able to accomplish what they did. Really, the only complaint that I have is that they had the perfect casting for Harry and they just wasted him in the role. But Radha Mitchell's acting was solid, so I'm willing to give it a pass, mostly. Now, I'm no fool. I know the Silent Hill Revelation's definitely putting up nails in that coffin to successfully bury this franchise forever. I know it's a big ask asking you guys to break out your shovels and your crowbars so we can unbury this franchise and give it another shot, but I truly do think that it's way too soon to be putting this franchise to rest. I mean, a record of 1 win and 1 loss does not constitute good enough of a reason for something to be buried and forgotten. Now, when there's so much potential to be had waiting for us in the foggy distance, we just need to figure out the formula needed to breathe new life into it. All we need is the right studio and the right director and one of the most talked about entries in the Silent Hill franchise to date. One that seemingly everybody on the internet has an opinion on. The one, the only Silent Hill Downpour. I don't know why you guys are upset. You guys saw the thumbnail. You knew what this was. In my defense, I said one of the most talked about games, not the best game. Plus, I don't know if making one of the most beloved games into a movie adaptation right now is a very good idea. I mean, we do have the questionable remake on the horizon already to deal with, and I'm still on the fence myself with that one. But in all honesty, the recent trailer helped out a bit. Now, the visuals and the music and the voice acting in the trailer were nice, but I'm still unsure if they're going to be able to live up to the legend that this game's being remade from. But I'm definitely down to come along for the ride, just like I'd be down for a Downpour movie. I know that arguably it's the worst Silent Hill game that's ever came out, but honestly, I think that has more to do with the gameplay than the story. A father purposely getting sent to jail so he can avenge his dead son, finding himself in Silent Hill where he's to be punished for the actions that took place in the prison. Sounds like a great setup for a great story as long as you find the right people to pull it off. And the right people we would need are working in the industry right now at Blumhouse. Love them or hate them, they're the risk takers we would need to make this movie a success and get the ball rolling. Pair them up with Del Toro, a writer and director that does monsters better than anybody else in the industry, as well as being known for telling some deep, dark stories that just makes your skin crawl at times. The monster designs and the psychological horror that he brings to the table would breathe new life into them hills, as long as you give him a good cast to work with along the way. There's a range of great characters here, and as long as Hollywood would get out of their way and actually cast them correctly, there's a lot of potential with this movie. Murphy, for instance, you would need somebody who's strong, intimidating, but also could take you someplace emotional at the drop of a dime. And honestly, it wasn't too hard to figure out who'd be perfect for the role. Frank Grillo popped in my head almost immediately. The man has an impressive lineup of movies underneath his belt, and I'd be willing to bet that even if some of them movies were bad, that he's professional enough that where he wouldn't phone in the role. And that's something we desperately need in a Downpour lead. Well, co-lead. Because Downpour is just as much Annie's story as it is Murphy's. Annie is a strong and determined character with a heavy heart full of emotions from a troubled past, so she would need an actress who can handle all that. She's an officer with a lot of layers, and I would like to see an experienced actress like Sandy B tackle them. I know she would come at a big price to the budget, but I think she'd be worth it. She's a veteran actress that's already taken on emotional roles in thrillers through her entire career. She would be perfect to bring this emotionally compromised character to life. It helps that her and Grillo both seem like humble people and probably would have great chemistry together. But we all know leads can't do it alone. A great support cast is also needed to help iron out the story and bring the world to life. Big roles, small roles, it doesn't matter. Any bad performance can derail a good movie. Grillo needs a great character actor to come face to face with when he's avenging his son. Someone who could provide the believable fear to Grillo's rage. I'm telling you right now, Christian is an actor that we should be looking into to tackle this role. You can tell he takes his role seriously, and he's exactly what we need to bring that short scene to life, even if it's only in flashback form. And you would need a truly sinister actor to portray the guard that arranged for him to be in the showers on that day in the first place. George is what I'll be referring to him as because my list will not allow me to say the actual name that he's referred to in the game. George is the type of guard that'd be right at home in Shawshank Prison. The man is dirty, cold, psychotic, and worst of all, clever. Definitely somebody Murphy should not have gone in bed with, but he was desperate to get a hold of the man who killed his son. Dan Stevens was an actor I was introduced to in Abigail, and honestly, that was enough to make him my pick. He was intimidating and unsettling throughout the entire movie, same as George throughout the game. Definitely the unstable type, someone who I would not want in charge of me. You know, the type that would sell out their own mother to get ahead. But that covers the casting of the devil on Murphy's shoulder. Why don't we tackle the angel next? Frank is a guard who's near retirement, who's doing the best he can to look after Murphy, even if that means bumping heads with George from time to time. He's got a good heart and a no-nonsense nature to him. So I would like to see an actor of Ted Danson's caliber to step into his shoes. I know he's busy with his podcast these days, but I think he's still got a few more great roles inside of him them, and honestly, I would love to see him put Murphy on the right path. Or at least attempt to. Murph's got a Murph. But why don't we have a look at a character we met on the bus right before it crashed? I know his story ended quickly in the game, but I think that he would make a great secondary antagonist. Extending his character a bit more would allow issues for Murphy to overcome while he's dealing with the horrors of Silent Hill. Or Anne even. Either way, let's cast Tony Dalton as Sanchez and let him simmer in that role until it's time to shine. I know we won't be disappointed. And Sanchez is not the only character I would like to see expanded upon in the movie. The legend that is Bobby Ricks came and went way too quick in the game. You don't end up in Silent Hill for no reason, so I would love to know a little bit more about his backstory, and I know what actor I would love to see bring it to life. Donald would kill this role. Even if it was a short one, he would bring meaning to the character and actually give us something interesting to watch. As long as he keeps it grounded, let the man cook, and I'm sure it'll add to the experience. As far as the nun, the other guards, and prisoners, I'd say cast unknowns. You can never go wrong there. I will always support giving fresh blood a chance to shine among more experienced actors. That way, in the long run, it could help the industry grow. And lastly, I'd like to suggest the casting of a character that should have a cameo in every Silent Hill movie going forward. Howard Blackwood. The man is a legend in the Silent Hill universe, and he deserves a legend to step into his shoes. You need a man like Lawrence Fishburne to step in and give Howard's character the weight it deserves. You need someone commanding as well as somebody who can make you feel calmed and uneasy at the same time. Someone that when you hear him speak, you listen, even if it's only for a few minutes in each film. I'd say with this cast, director, publisher, and let's say tight 1 hour and 40-minute runtime, you probably have a great movie on your hands. Not to mention an adaptation worth talking about. But hey, how do you guys feel? Do you think there's anybody that'd be better casted than the people I suggested? Do you think a reasonably budgeted Downpour movie could even work? Can't wait to hear what you guys have to say on the subject. But until I read your comments down below, I'll be sitting here wondering, could Blumhouse and Del Toro make a good Silent Hill Downpour movie? If you feel like I've earned it, leave a like, subscribe, and share out the video to help the channel grow. Hope to see you in the next video very soon.